Welcome to the Law Office of Brian Fagan podcast, where we empower Texas families through knowledge and compassion. Thinking about moving to Fort Worth, Texas? What should you actually know before starting your next chapter? Today, we're taking a close look at a city that's rapidly transforming, drawing in thousands of new families, while also, dealing with some very real growing pains. So let's dive right into this explainer and analyze this massive influx of people. We're going to look at exactly what the data, and more importantly, the locals, are actually saying.
I really want you to keep this question in the back of your mind as we go through the numbers today. Is this rapid growth offering genuine opportunity, or is it just creating an overwhelmed, congested nightmare? The accounts we're seeing from our sources are literally night and day. Some families are calling it the absolute best decision they've ever made. They're talking about incredible jobs and beautiful homes. But then you have longtime residents saying the city has completely lost its charm to endless traffic and skyrocketing costs. It's a fascinating contrast, really.
To get to the bottom of all this, here is our game plan for today. First, we'll look at the economic draw. Second, housing and neighborhoods. Third, culture and lifestyle. And finally, we'll tackle the harsh realities. We're going to objectively weigh the exciting perks against the difficult truths found in our data.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the economic draw, specifically jobs and affordability.
A massive part of what's driving people to Fort Worth is the affordability factor. The overall cost of living here sits comfortably at about 4 to 5% below the national average. But when you drill down into housing specifically, wow, it is roughly 14% below the national average. Throw in the fact that Texas has zero state income tax, zero, and it becomes an incredibly attractive option, especially for professionals and families looking to stretch their dollars way further than they ever could in places like LA, New York, or honestly even Austin these days.
And here is a really key number to keep in mind: $73,000. That's the median household income in Fort Worth right now, and it is remarkably strong. In fact, according to our sources, it actually paces higher than neighboring Dallas, where the average sits around $63,000. This is backed by a super robust job market, anchored by some major Fortune 500 heavyweights. We're talking Lockheed Martin, American Airlines, and BNSF Railway. These companies provide high-paying, stable careers that act like a giant magnet for relocation.
Moving right along to Section 2, housing and neighborhoods, let's talk about finding your spot.
When you're looking for that perfect spot, it's pretty easy to see why folks are choosing Fort Worth over its famous neighbor. Now, have home prices in Fort Worth gone up recently? Oh, absolutely. Today, they're landing somewhere between $336,000 and $365,000. But the city still remains significantly more affordable compared to Dallas, where the median is pushing $415,000. You simply get way more dirt, more square footage, basically just more home for your hard-earned money here.
Plus, there's a neighborhood vibe for literally everyone. You've got downtown, which is this fantastic, highly walkable urban center. Then there's Fairmont. It's full of these historic, super trendy Victorian-era homes with a great laid-back feel. Arlington Heights offers really charming, family-friendly bungalows right near the museums. And if you're prioritizing premium schools for the kids, outer suburbs like Southlake and Alado are incredibly popular for families looking to put down roots.
But we really have to look at the yes but reality check of this whole housing boom. While newcomers might think it's a steal, longtime locals are feeling intensely squeezed. Just listen to what one local resident had to say. Housing is unaffordable to those of us born here. We are simply outcompeted by out-of-state buyers. And honestly, the data backs that up. We're seeing reports of out-of-state buyers dropping $30,000 or more over asking price, and rent prices have essentially doubled in just the last few years. It's literally pushing a lot of native Fort Worthians out of the very neighborhoods they grew up in. And hey, taking a quick pause here. If you're moving to Fort Worth, Texas, and have questions about divorce, child custody, estate planning, or other family law matters, visit brianfagan.com or schedule a confidential consultation with our experienced legal team. Moving involves a lot of moving parts, so it's always good to be prepared.
Okay, let's pivot to Section 3, culture and lifestyle. This is truly where the West begins. The lifestyle here is just this totally unique blend. You have authentic cowboy heritage right in the Fort Worth stockyards, which, by the way, features a literal twice-daily longhorn cattle drive right down the street. It is wild to see in person. Then, you've got the world-class Fort Worth Zoo, which is frequently ranked as one of the best in the entire country. For the artsy folks, the Cultural District boasts the Kimbell and Modern Art Museums. And if you're an outdoorsy person, you've got over 100 miles of the Trinity Trails for hiking and biking. It's a very rich, casual, and completely authentic cultural scene.
However, I do have to point out a distinct lifestyle drawback if you happen to be a massive sports fan. There are 0 professional sports teams located in Fort Worth proper. None. So if you want to catch the Cowboys, the Rangers, the Mavericks, or the Stars, you are going to have to commute through some pretty heavy Metroplex traffic over to Arlington or Dallas. And there's no easy train connecting you directly to those stadiums, which means you are entirely dependent on your car to get your pro sports fix.
And that brings us to Section 4, the harsh realities. Let's talk about the heat, the traffic, and the infrastructure.
The first harsh reality we have to talk about is the weather, and you really need to hear this staggering statistic. 115%. Between 2021 and 2022, heat-related illnesses in the area spiked by an alarming 115%. Guys, the Texas heat is absolutely relentless. You will experience weeks, sometimes literally months, where the temperature just sits stubbornly above 100 degrees. Locals report having to stay indoors for months at a time during the peak summer, which leads to skyrocketing air conditioning bills and a serious strain on local resources.
The second reality is the infrastructure. Adding thousands of people every single year has severely overwhelmed the local roads. Listen to this quote from another local. "The growth in just the last 5 years is ridiculous. I always take back roads to everything because the traffic on 121, 183, and 820 can be pretty bad." And they hit the nail on the head. Major arteries like I-35W are consistently congested, and locals are quick to point out that when the city does expand highways, they almost always turn them into toll roads. That adds a hidden, daily cost to your commute that you really have to budget for.
Furthermore, it's actually not just the heat you have to worry about. Fort Worth sits right on the southern edge of Tornado Alley. Residents frequently have to deal with severe thunderstorms, high winds, and hail that regularly destroys roofs and vehicles. On top of all that, the ERCOT power grid has been a major point of anxiety for a lot of folks. It's really struggled to keep up with the city's massive population growth during both extreme winter freezes and those blistering summer heat waves.
Finally, for families relocating, we really have to talk about the schools. The Fort Worth Independent School District has, historically, struggled. As the data shows right here, overall ratings tend to hover in the C to B- range, with academics pulling a C+. Even the local mayor recently called the district's performance unacceptable. Because of this, many parents feel forced to either factor in the hefty cost of private school tuition, or they opt to move out to outer suburbs like Aledo or Southlake just to find better-rated public education. So it all basically comes down to this final reflection. Can you handle the relentless heat and the growing traffic in exchange for immense economic opportunity, affordable housing, and a truly authentic culture? Fort Worth is a city caught right in the middle of a massive transition, and you have to weigh these undeniable benefits against some very real growing pains. We hope this explainer is giving you the insights you need to make the best decision for your next chapter. Thank you for listening to the Law Office of Brian Fagan podcast, where families find freedom and peace of mind through education and expert legal care. For more information or to schedule your free consultation, visit our website or call 281-810-9760 today.